I retired from being likable, and I let go of the need to please women. And I replaced all of these things with a full sack. And suddenly I found myself in a position where the friend zone no longer existed. And this has been years in the making, right? Like years and years. And I've been experiencing the no friend zone for years now. And women hate to love it. They really do, man. They hate to love that you have enough self-respect for yourself not to pedestalize their pink palace and to not be a depleted coomer and a simp. It really is the sense of voluptuousness that comes from women, where they are entitled to attention by so many different men nowadays that when you have the audacity to be basically the retarded alchemist who ignores them and just focuses on transmuting lead into gold, it's like they don't know how to handle that. They get irritated with it. And at the same time, they love it, man. They can't help themselves, because the friend zone only exists for you if you believe that it does. If you believe that it exists, it will exist. I didn't need the full sack to realize this, and yet I did need a full sack to realize this. Because you operate on a different level. You're the calm storm heading over the horizon. And yet you're also the one who can make the storm dissipate at will. And women see this power. Men see this power too. But women see this power. And especially when you start to just soften yourself into who you are, this is also going to be a great indication that you're actually coming into yourself and you're just being more of who you are. And you're being more direct. You're not afraid of being direct. This is another thing that makes the friend zone just not exist. Because the non-existent friend zone, like when you don't even I don't even think about the friend zone. I haven't thought about it really for years, but it's only coming up when I see certain things online in my niche or niches like mine where I'm seeing this stuff and they're like, oh, how to get out of the friend zone. It's like, dude, just be a retarded alchemist with a full sack. You'll be fine, bro. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just be either a retarded alchemist or a regal alchemist, right? Like, be a regal alchemist with a full sack and you'll just let go of all this stuff. Like, you don't need to be so involved with all this hocus pocus with women. Most of the time, these women aren't even worth it, man. And I don't say that because I hate women. I say that because it's just the truth. It's like why would you settle? Why would you settle for something? Because the way that the soul of existence works is that the soul of existence responds to how you value yourself internally, your self-worth. When you have self-worth, the universe is going to respond to that in a particular type of way. And so you can either decide to be the godly bad boy with a full sack who doesn't need the friend zone. It doesn't even realize the friend zone is there. You just forget about the friend zone altogether. And you just focus on being who you are and just living your life. Or you can be so hyper-focused on trying to get out of the friend zone and trying to get a woman and trying to do this and trying to... Because it's very attractive for a lot of men. Like, obviously, sex sells to men, right? If you want to make money in marketing, you sell beauty to women and you sell sex to men. You sell safety to parents. And then you sell hopes and dreams to kids, right? Those are the ways that people coerce you and seduce you into being sold to. It's not always a bad thing, right? Like, it's not a bad thing to be sold to, but you have to realize like why they're selling you this, right? Because if they're not trying to actually help you fix a problem, they're not really selling you anything. This is one thing that I really don't like about a lot of the marketplace today, because I know that I have a business, right? Like, I know that I have services and I actually help people. I actually do this. I can't tell you how many times I've had people over the last couple years, whether it's in one-on-ones or in my Godlike Mastery offer or in the Regal Academy, where I've given somebody a unique perspective that they never had heard before, or they never thought about in that type of way before, and it completely transmuted their whole energy and how they operate in their world. Okay, that's what this is about. It's about waking people up. It's not about getting the women, or it's not about getting out of the friend zone. It's about awakening yourself to realize that you are the light. Like, you are already who you want to be. You just have yet to realize it. And this takes you, it's not even a take, it's about receiving. How do you receive your blessings? Right? Really ask yourself, how do you receive your blessings? And can you send positive vibes to the future self of you and the past self of you while being completely in the present moment? Because the way that I think about the present moment is, if timelessness itself is like, if we conceptualize time as a cobweb, and the present moment is like a place, a certain like pinpoint place in that cobweb, but it's also like, that's just in time, right? But if you want to move into timelessness, the more you move into timelessness, the cobweb kind of is this tesseract that's always moving. Like, there's one place in time, like, okay, in this space, right, where I am living at right now, me talking to you, when I'm right here, I am simply here, and there might have been people here before me, right? But the space, or there might have been other, I don't know, plants or whatever, other beings of consciousness that have experienced this place in time, but not the time that I'm currently occupying. This is my time. It's my individual time through watch time, right? It's my individual time, and it's an event that I'm perceiving through my individual time. The Regal Change old timers will be fully aware of the Regal timeline theory here, right? So, and the verbiage that I'm using. So what you're doing then is you're perceiving a point in the cobweb, but when you move into timelessness, you start to see that that one point is a tesseract in of itself. And so there's all these points of space where time is a tesseract. And the space is consistently going in and out. So this means that time is nonlinear. And this is what's going to happen to you when you start to let go of the friend zone, when you start to let go of all the concepts of the world. You see that there's something more to experience here. There's something more beautiful to be had as an experience. There's something more, and yet there's nothing more at all. This is the paradox of life. It's the paradox because the closer you are to the paradoxes of life, the closer you are to the truth of life. And so, let go of being likable. It's not to say that you should make enemies, but let go of the need to be liked. However, recognize how needing to be, or not necessarily needing to be liked, but being liked is a real skill. Being likable is a real skill. And I can be likable when I want to, but I don't really want to most of the time anymore. It's not that I don't see the value in it. It's just that specifically with women, I don't feel the need to be likable to women. I don't want to displease them. I don't want to please them either. I want to nurture the feminine spirit. You know, something I've talked about in my book, the Book of Oldishness, which, by the way, now that I bring it up, I have a second edition that is now available. So I've just made a few like updates into the verbiage and the vernacular of how I talk about certain things. So that is now available on Amazon. So you can check out the links for that in the description box or the comment section below. But in my book, I talk about being a lover of uncertainty and how we have to nurture uncertainty. And that's part of integrating our femininity as men. It's not that we need to integrate feminine qualities or be feminine per se, but it's about appreciating the feminine nature of things. It's about learning how to appreciate this. And this is another reason why the friend zone is not going to exist for you as a godly bad boy with a full sack, is because you're learning how to appreciate beauty in a more organized and proper manner. Like, you're properly appreciating it rather than, and when I say properly, I don't mean like there's a certain type of way you have to do this or you ought to do this or you should do this. It's just that the ways in which the godly essence is expressing itself through you is now whole enough to recognize beauty as it is. And so in your recognition of beauty as it is, there's also this sense of transcending that which is purely fleshly desire. Like, you just don't need the fleshly desire. It's still there, of course. Like, yeah, like I can, you know, it's weird. It's very strange recently because I'm seeing this whole existence as one being, you know, expressing itself in multiple forms. I'm seeing just the oneness of love with everybody as well. And I'm becoming not necessarily more gentle, but more appreciative of the gentleness of life, more so than I already was. And so it's like this godlike mastery essence that is just emanating through me, and yet I'm pissing off a lot of women. Like, something I've noticed over the past couple weeks is women, they like scoff more when they're around me because I'm not even trying to get their attention, and I'm not really ignoring them. I'm not like choosing to ignore them, but they're invisible to me. Like, a lot of these women are invisible to me because they're operating purely from a scarcity mindset. And I don't want to be visible to scarcity. And I don't want scarcity to be visible to me. In fact, it's not. Like, it's just not visible to me. And I don't see the reason. I don't know. I just don't see the reason to try to like talk to these types of women, or even associate with them. Not that I can't appreciate them like for who they are. It's just that because yeah, like some of these women that I see out and about are gorgeous on the outside, and I can still see that there's this, you know, inner femininity that's just trying to come out, but that divine spark is there, but they don't want to quite let it in, right? They don't want to quite let it in. So what do you do about that? Like, how do you see the light in somebody as a godly bad boy, let's say? As a godly bad boy with a full sack, how do you see the light in some of these women that is just waiting to be emanating, and yet they keep trying to cover themselves and hide themselves? They don't hide their bodies, that's for sure. They don't hide their bodies, but they hide who they really are. Because most of these people out here are shallow. They're very shallow. And I don't mean this as a critique. I'm just saying that that's what they are. And that's who they are. In the spirit of this moment is they're very shallow people. It doesn't mean that they're evil or anything. It just means that they're shallow. And I don't like some of these women were talking about dating lives today. dating lives. Since when, since when is dating lives actually like a thing? Do you have to it's part of my life is dating? What the fuck? Like, what kind of life are you living, woman? That's a shallow life. Like, if you're completely focused on dating life, like, oh well, I'm hoping that this next man is going to be filthy rich enough, or I'm hoping that this next guy is going to be, have a large enough sack to really please me, or have, like, what the fuck are we doing? This is why the friend zone doesn't exist for the godly bad boy with a full sack, because he's not even concerning himself with these types of women. I just ignore those types of women, man. Just ignore them. They don't have anything real. Not even real. They don't have anything truthful to talk about. They have a lot of real things that are real problems for them. But for the Regal Change old timers that are familiar with the Regal Change timeline theory, reality and truth is not the same thing. Reality, it is true that there are delusions, but every truth is a reality. And this is part of living in the narrative structure of your own life. Like, are you in a narrative structure that's a fantasy? Because that can be a real narrative structure, but it doesn't make it true. But all truths are narrative structures that create a form of reality. So let go of these women. Let go of the friend zone. Just let go of it all, man. Just let everything go. Surrender, but don't give up. Ooh, when I said that, like, my heart started to like flutter. Somebody really needed to hear that. So yeah, that really spoke to somebody out there. I'm really glad that was what was said, because it's about the message, right? It's about the message. So I hope that you all stay blessed. I hope that this was a useful and insightful video, as well as kind of, just joyful. I've recognized that it's kind of, perhaps I'll make a full sack manifesto. The full sack manifesto. The full sack legacy and manifesto. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I suppose that's what it is. But this is part of the part that I'm playing, right? Is the godly bad boy with a full sack. This is part of the show. But it's also not. Like, it's actually it's a truthful reel. It's not a real truth. It's a truthful reel. So with all that being said, I hope that everybody stays blessed. If you're interested in applying for my Godlike Mastery or a one-on-one session, check out the links in the description box or the comment section below, because those are going to be for people that have, specifically the Godlike Mastery is going to be for people with the financial as well as the time to invest into themselves. And I'm more of the architect for that. So I don't try to force you into anything, but we give you personalized and custom rituals for your life that you can implement to drastically change the behavior. Because if you want to change your life, you don't change the goals, right? You change the behavior to reach the goals. Sometimes you might have to change the goals, but it's ultimately about changing your behavior and changing the narrative structure in your mind, right? So that's more of the Godlike Mastery. And then we have the Regal Academy. And the Regal Academy, I'm currently working on a few different other classes. I'm currently looking into shadow integration, because a lot of the stuff about shadow integration online that you'll see, it's good information, but shadow integration and anima integration, that stuff is cheap as far as information goes. The actual integration process, that's priceless. So I'm looking into how to actually, create a system and an architecture structure for you to explore. And I'll be giving you guys more updates on that. We are still doing the Regal, the Regal case study for the Regal retention study. And The Regal Retention Study is going to be the 30-day semen retention program where people volunteered for it. We also have a focus in the Regal Academy with it as well. But the idea is to ensure that the Regal Academy becomes more of not an institution, but something to be more taken seriously, because we actually have case studies now. And we are 2 weeks into that as of today. And we have just over 2 weeks left to go with that. But I'll compile all the data afterward, and I'll be able to give you guys the findings, and we can actually see how semen retention and just, having the full sac really demonstrates a significant psychological impact in people's lives, because this is ultimately about transformation and transforming lives for the better and reducing the unnecessary suffering in the world. So I hope everybody stays blessed. Peace be with you. Until next time.